Welcome everyone to this INKOM online session for Maastricht Lacrosse. I will share my screen and start a little presentation that I have prepared. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Now you should be able to see that as well. All right, good to go. Welcome everyone to this INKOM 2020 presentation about Maastricht Lacrosse. My name is Jonas Heller. I am the current president of Maastricht Lacrosse. And together with my fellow board members, Annabelle, Baptiste, Astrid, Sarah, Guillaume, and Matja, who will be leading the session today, we prepared a little online session due to the special circumstances that COVID, unfortunately, has put on all the sport associations here in Maastricht. This session is about informing you about lacrosse in general, Maastricht Lacrosse as one of the oldest clubs in the Netherlands. And I will talk about how a usual season with us looks like, how often we practice, how our league works, what other tournaments, etc. are we going to do, but also all the social events, the fun bits and pieces where we come together with our members and have a couple of drinks every now and then. And we'll talk about those events and all the nice events that we have planned for this upcoming year. So first of all, a very, very warm welcome to Maastricht. Most of you probably already arrived and participated in the INKOM already and met the first new people. We would have loved to also be there in person and meet all of you. Unfortunately, with Corona and the regulations that we currently face here in the Netherlands, that wasn't possible for us. So the Maastricht Lacrosse Club will be the next topic on the agenda. Then I talk about, as I already mentioned, what a year with us looks like usually, when we practice, how the competition is organized, and also the social side of things. Without further ado, as I said, I hope you already enjoy INKOM. Met some new people, met some nice friends who study with you or study at other faculties. And next to your studies, it's also important, obviously, that you play a sport. You probably already play lacrosse, or you have never heard about it, but you're looking for a new sport. So why should you play lacrosse in general and not any of the other sports? Well, first of all, lacrosse is called also the fastest sport on 2 feet. It's a very versatile game. It requires a lot of running, but we have very different positions on the field, from defenseman and an attackman, or women are both two very different positions. So it's a sport for everyone. It combines various unique elements of other sports that you probably already know from your high school, or from other club sports that you've participated in. So there are elements of field hockey. There's an element of ice hockey where you can also play behind the goal. There are moves that are very similar to basketball, for example. So we have some blocks and pick and roll, so we call them. They're similar to basketball. So it combines these unique elements of other sports, which make it a very, very fun sport to practice and play as well. And the community of lacrosse players around the world, but especially also in Europe, is still rather small community. So everywhere you go, you find a lacrosse team, you're immediately accepted into this team, and everyone really has close bonds with each other. And lacrosse players are just friends across Europe. So you meet a lot of people during the summer tournaments. You meet the same people again, which is always a really great experience. So I think that is something compared to other sports, soccer, for example, where you have so many people playing it that you don't meet the same people all the time. With lacrosse, you meet new people wherever you go in Europe, when you travel to other tournaments, or in the Netherlands as well. Then about our club specifically. So Maastricht Lacrosse was actually the first Dutch lacrosse club that existed here. It was founded in the year 2000, and if you count it, we are turning 20 this year. So we are planning to do a 20th birthday anniversary. It was founded by 2 Germans from Aachen. They played the sport in the US and in exchange semester started a club in Aachen, and then also thought it would be good to establish it in the Netherlands, where they were studying later on. As I said, we're the oldest team in the Netherlands, and we have a men's team and a women's team. The majority of our teams are student. I would say 90% or more of our players are students, whether that's full-time students or part-time students or exchange students as well, of Maastricht University or Hogeschool Zuid, or other Hogesschools in the area. And both our teams, and that is a little bit special, I guess, that's why we included here, we are actually participating in the Belgian competition since a couple of years, and not in the Dutch competition anymore. One particular reason in the beginning for this was that we couldn't field umpires, but now the more benefit that we get from it is that we have way less driving to do to game days. So we're actually both participating in the Belgian leagues at the moment. Most important question probably for most of you is, when do you guys practice? We practice every Monday and every Wednesday at the Sport Park West. You can find the exact address on our webpage, maastrichtlacrosse.com. Monday we start at 7:45 p.m. and Wednesday we start at 7:30. We practice for 2 hours. Both our men and women's team practice on the same field. It's a big rugby field at Sport Park West. You can't miss it if you go there. Then, how would a year with us usually looks like? What are the sportive activities that we usually have planned? So as I said, we practice twice per week, Monday, Wednesday, both men's and women's. We have a break of about a month in the winter period. That is when your second block of university usually has exams. That's the week right before Christmas. We usually stop so you can focus on your exams. And we have a break of about a month because everyone is home for Christmas and New Year's Eve. And with Maastricht having all those international students, everyone usually travels home. So we stop practicing for about a month and then pick it up again at the mid or end of January. And then we practice basically till the end of the academic year, which is usually, depending on your exams and potentially resits, somewhere at the end of June or mid-July. So we practice twice a week. Then the first event that we're usually having in September, and we have been going there in the past years all the time. It was a great event for all the newcomers, so for all the people who haven't played before, but we usually go with both teams, the men and the women's team. It's a newcomers tournament, which is on the 26th of September. It's a Saturday in Nijmegen. We usually go all together by train, have a full day of lacrosse. And the good thing about the newcomers tournament is all the universities and all the teams from the Netherlands go there. And it's a really great experience, especially for new players, to play in an environment where they don't play against people that already play since 10 years or more, right? So we usually go there together, have a great day. The last few years, we actually always ended up in the top 3. So we obviously try to make that happen again. Besides the newcomers tournament, the regular competition that both our men and our women play usually starts only in October. For the men usually have 6 game days per semester, or 6 games per semester, making it 12 a year. And for the women, it should be 5 or 6 game days as well per semester, making it relatively similar, 10 to 12 games a year. Of course, you're free to choose if you want to play a competition, if you just want to practice with us, that's absolutely fine for us. Or if you say like, hey, I would just like, if I'm a new player, I want to get into the sport first and practice for 6 months and then only join the competition, that's completely fine. With us, you don't have to worry about that at all. For the boys, we also play box lacrosse, which is the indoor version on a smaller field that we play in winter, which usually we play in the Dutch competition. The games are usually in Utrecht, and we only have 3 game days there across winter months. That's usually the sportive side of things. Again, also, how do you start the sportive side of things? We start with open practices. These open practices, as I probably already mentioned, they're starting on the 31st of August, which is a Monday of week 1 of your academic year. We start them at the Sport Park West, Monday, 7:45. They are usually quite fun. We have a lot of new players there, but also some experienced players. Here you see some pictures of it. As I said, the boys and the girls have practiced on the same field. And I have a little video that hopefully shows you a little bit on how these open practices look like. I move forward a little bit and reduce the sound a little bit. Here we go. So for the ones that don't know lacrosse, lacrosse is played, as I said earlier, on 2 feet. The men are wearing protective equipment like helmet, gloves, elbow pads, and you throw the ball with a stick that has a net in it. There's a big difference between men and women's lacrosse, as you can see here. The women's have slightly flatter sticks, and they don't have protective equipment except for the goalie that you just saw there. So we practice usually with a lot of passing and catching, especially important for the beginners. We stretch before practice, play ground balls, the balls falls on the ground. We have separate coaches for the men's and the women's team. They coach both our teams. Really experienced coaches by now. Here you can see how shooting on the goal would look like. So the goalie obviously wears some protective equipment. Let me turn down the sound a bit more. Wears protective equipment to be protected from the balls. We do usually, as I said, passing drills and some shooting drills to get the goalie warmed up. And then at the end of the practice, we usually try to get some game elements in there as well, play some formations or play some drills, and in the end also have a bit of fun and play an actual game for, depending on the time, 15 minutes or 20 or 30 minutes, depending on how much time we have left at practice. Yeah, as you can see here, we have the Sport Park West Field 6, the rugby field. It's a great field, artificial turf with lacrosse marking. So we are really happy to be on that field. As you can see with floodlights, we can also practice easily at night. So the open practices starting Monday, the 31st of August. Everyone is welcome. You don't need to sign up anywhere. I've had this question before. You can just rock up. Now with the Corona situation, of course, we have to keep our social distance a little bit, so we'll see whether we can already practice full contact or not. As you can see here, that's the usual after practice run. And with that, I close the video. So as I said, please make sure just bring some sport shoes and sport clothes, and then you're good to go for the open practices. You don't need to sign up anywhere. You can just rock up. And obviously also important, you don't need equipment. Okay? We understand that no beginners, or also potentially exchange students, if you come from abroad, the UK or the US or somewhere else, you probably haven't shipped your equipment with you. That's fine. We got equipment for everyone. If we are not 80 people or something like that at the open practice, but we should be fine. We'll figure something out. In terms of the COVID standards, all the equipment also has been disinfected after each practices, so we make sure that there's no problem with transmission of any germs or anything. Please bring your own water bottle. We cannot share water bottles at the moment, as you probably understand, but there's also a water fountain at the field where you can fill up your water bottle. Let me get to the next slide. So yeah, as I said, those were the sportive side of things. Now, obviously, the Maastricht Lacrosse team, the Llamas, as we are also called, is more than just a sport club that practices together. We also go out together quite regularly. And I'm not sure if you can see the calendar here on the left-hand side. Let me get the laser pointer out here. So you see, for the open practices in September on the 31st, 2nd, 7th, and 9th. After the 9th, we have a little drinking session at the field as well, just a little social get together. Besides that, what other events do we have planned? On the 12th of September, for the more advanced players or for the ones that want to get into umpiring, we have an online umpiring or refereeing course planned. We have regular bar nights. We usually go to the Shamrock, which is recently, or has been in the past years, our go-to bar. What else do we do? We have team dinners for men and women that can be shared or separate. Sometimes the boys and the girls have a dinner separately, and then later on we meet up in a bar. The newcomers tournament that I already mentioned. We have other bar nights planned. We have a training camp planned for the men's on the 3rd of October, that is. And on the 4th of October, we have the first men's game then. We got a rookie night, the famous rookie night, which is always a fun event where we make sure our rookies arrive well in our team. And then it's going on like that in October as well. So we have bar night planned, walking dinners. So we have shared dinners at our houses, and all the activities are usually quite fun, quite social. We mix and mingle quite a bit between the men and the women's team. And I can just clearly recommend taking part in those activities if you decide to join the Llamas. That's already everything I wanted to talk about. The others, Matja especially, will continue to walk you through this online session. More information can be found on our webpage, which is www.maastrichtlacrosse.com or maaslax.com. You can also try, that also works. Make sure you check out our Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social media channels to stay updated. And yeah, I really hope you have a great INKOM week. If you have more questions, feel free to message us via the webpage or the social media channels. We're always available and making sure to respond as soon as possible. And if there are more questions that I didn't cover here in this presentations, yeah, please feel free to ask them now in this live session. Or if you missed the live session for whatever reason, you can watch the recording of this presentation again. And as I said, feel free to reach out to us. Really enjoy INKOM, guys. It's a great week. And I'm sure despite Corona, you can also make the best out of it and meet new people and get ready for your new semester at Maastricht University. I'm really looking forward to meet all of you and talk to you soon. Bye.